right, guys. Bring back manly men.
Well, shit. So here we are again with another. No, this is a whole other level than my last video. A whole nother level is stupidity. So, Candace Owens. Oh boy. I've never heard of this woman before in my entire life until a few days ago when I stumbled across this video that we're gonna go over. She made a video on Instagram. She titled it, Bring Back Manly Men. So she talked for 8 minutes straight about a lot of dumb shit, primarily focusing on people's expression beyond their gender norms. So it all started on Twitter. Vogue posted that photo ops with Harry Styles in a dress. Boy, you look fabulous. I love it. But our girl Candace Owens didn't think so. No, because then she had the audacity to retweet them and quote tweet. Oh man, where's our beautiful gem? She quote retweeted them, saying this: "There is no society that can survive without strong men. The East knows this. In the West, the steady feminization of our men at the same time that Marxism is being taught to our children is not a coincidence. It is an outright attack. Bring back manly men." Yikes. That's a really heavily loaded statement. So a lot of the shit she goes spouting off about is mainly political, and I'm not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole. We're going to focus on mainly most of the toxic, traditional, masculine mindset she has. Basically, we're just going to watch her video, and I'm going to rebuttal every stupid thing she says. Okay, here we go. The video in question. It has over 3.6 million views while I'm doing this. Yikes.
All right, guys. Bring back manly men. Who would have thought that that would have caused an absolute firestorm? Something as basic as saying that men are good for our society causes a firestorm, of course, on the left, because the left hates anything normal. Basically, if there is anything that looks remotely normal, the left sees it and they want to tear it down. They just cannot stand the idea that things are functioning and things are working and things are normal. Case in point, a man wearing a dress.
Immediately out of the gates, she makes this left-wing political thing saying how people of the left can't stand anything normal and we're all freaks and weirdos and perverting normalcy. Okay. I want to point out, a lot of the time in this video, what initially sparked it was the Harry Styles Vogue post. She likes to say how much this was not an attack on Harry Styles, but then proceeds to consistently bring it up to enforce her point in a negative light, might I add. So sure, this is an attack on Harry Styles, even though it pretty much the basis of your entire argument.
Now, first off, let me just clarify something. When I originally tweeted about this was not an attack on Harry Styles. He happened to be the man in the dress, but really it was more of an attack on Vogue and the culture in general that is trying to shove this down our throats, right? This turning women into men and turning men into women has been the move on the left as of late, right? Women should want to go to work. You don't need a man. Shave your head. Dye it pink. Make yourself ugly, right? Because that's feminism and that's power and that sticks it to the patriarchy.
Oh. So apparently the entire LGBTQ community is a trend posed by Hollywood being forcibly shoved down everyone's throats. Freedom of expression and freedom to express who you are. Yeah, that's a problem.
Men put on a ball gown, right, and strut on Vogue because somehow that shows that you're not normal and that's really empowering and forward. And quite frankly, I do not find men in dresses to be attractive. Women do not find men in dresses to be attractive. Do not believe women that are sitting here telling you, oh, I would love for my man to wear a gown on our wedding day. It's just not true. That's just woke, leftist feminists and typically people that follow Hollywood trends.
It's one thing to have your own opinion. Fine. You feel a certain way? So be it. But when you project that onto everybody else, or putting down everyone else because of something that differs from your opinion, you have zero ground to stand on after that. If it was just her opinion, fine, whatever, do you. But then it becomes an attack on people who do not share the same view as her. And she's gonna say that she's not attacking anybody or wishing the worst on anybody. But no, she'll consistently tell everybody that they're wrong for thinking and feeling this way.
Question I want to ask you guys about Hollywood, because this was almost the biggest issue that I was hitting at. When's the last time they've ever promoted anything good or anything functional? Just think about it. You can write it right now. When is the last time Hollywood has ever promoted anything good or anything functional? Right? Hollywood is the conduit to all bad ideas.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe about spreading the ideas of freedom of expression, self-expression, freedom to be who you are, freedom to not be judged or persecuted for who you are, opening of minds, flowing of conversation, showing progression and positive media for people of LGBTQ or POC or indigenous peoples, because there wasn't a lot of that growing up. Growing up, there's a really bad light shed on people of color, people who were not straight or fitting in your gender conformity.
If I see a man in a dress, I think he's a crackhead, period, right? If you see that stuff, if you live in the projects, if you live on the streets and you see somebody a man wearing a dress, you assume that they have mental issues. And I want to be very clear, this is my opinion, I would never allow my kids near a man that's wearing a dress. That's my personal opinion. You can call that however you want to call that.
Whoa. You know, for someone who is female and a person of color, you'd think you'd hold back just at least a little bit on the stereotyping. No? Just outrageously ironic.
I don't need to be woke to pretend that this sort of stuff is normal. It's not normal. It's completely not normal. To feminize men and to keep pretending that this is progressive. It's not progressive. I said what I meant. There is no society that can survive without strong men. Men, the role of men is to defend, it's the role to protect. So all of you men who are sending me pictures of you in a dress and saying, I'm still a man or I'm still a manly man, I am not calling on you when there's a world war. I am not calling on you when I'm in an emergency, okay?
This is so incredibly toxic and harmful to men or to anybody in a gender non-conforming stance. This happens to be Men's Mental Awareness Month too, I believe, just a few days ago. She thinks she's spouting all these profound ideas when they're just so old-fashioned, so toxic, so harmful, and she doesn't even realize. She thinks she's going against the new trend or the new fad or the new mainstream ideas, when really there's no harm to it whatsoever. In fact, I think the world's been better for it, actually. Also, thanks for setting women back about 50 years, maybe more.
You can wear your dresses. Nobody has sat here and said, if you're a man in a dress, something bad should happen to you. I don't believe that. I believe people should live and do as they want. But I think it is wrong for our society to keep perverting things.
But you are, though. You may not be physically saying, just because you do something that I don't like, you should go jump off a cliff. Your words are still causing harm deep down inside, saying that this is not normal, calling them freaks, saying that they cannot participate in certain acts that people who dress normal should be.
For everyone who keeps throwing me all of these rockers who wore dresses, okay, they were also all on drugs. Right? Look at Kurt Cobain wearing this dress, Candace. Oh, he looked like a person that was very stable and mentally healthy. Let me go try to live my life like that.
There she goes again with stereotyping. So apparently you have to be mentally deranged or on drugs to wear clothes outside of your specified gender. Wow.
And again, this isn't an attack on Harry Styles. He just happened to be the man in the dress on the cover of Vogue. I like his music, seems like a nice enough kid. I am talking about the fact that celebrities promote this stuff that in the end is toxic and harmful to establishments in this society, the biggest one being family. Everything the left does and touches, everything that these Holly weirdos promote is about destroying basic values that work. For all of you guys that are running around saying, oh, she's doing this for attention, I wasn't the person that put on a dress and went on the cover of Vogue. That would be for attention, because at the core of these people who you think are subversive and progressive and forward is a desperate need for attention, and they can never do enough to get that attention.
Yeah, remember how she said that this was an attack on Harry Styles and proceeds to attack Harry Styles? She's not consistent, man, with her argument.
Like, we can talk about family values, we can talk about men being men and women being women, and I'm so tired of society's attack on masculinity. Masculinity is sexy. Swing an axe, take care of your family, fish, hunt, shoot, do whatever it is that you do. You know, let the guys hang out with the guys. That stuff is not toxic.
No, that stuff is not toxic. But enforcing the idea that you do not follow these specific gender norms, that's what's toxic, hun.
Hollywood, you guys are a bunch of clowns. Nobody cares. Genuinely, nobody cares what you think.
Oh boy. Man, she tries to make this so much more toxic than what it is. She tries to bring in politics, all these sorts of views to try and force why it's wrong, in her opinion. Like I said, it's one thing if you have your own opinion, especially if it's a really condescending, harmful, negative one. Keep it to yourself. Stop speaking for everybody else around you or saying that it's not normal just because they don't follow your standards of beauty or whatever have you. I could go on and on and on forever. It's like she's trying to get people riled up. I also scroll down her page a lot. There's a lot of outrageous things she says about the Black Lives Matter movements and groups and coronavirus, or, I'm sorry, what were the MAGAs calling it again? Or the scamdemic. Overall, in my point of view, as someone who is androgynous and growing up, was hard. Having everyone around you and media tell you how you're supposed to act and dress is severely deprecating. I've never been officially called to my face a freak, so this is kind of new, being up front, but yeah, you kind of feel that way with all that kind of traditional thinking. So having all that traditional mindset crap thrown at you, that's awful. Some people can't handle it, and it's very sad and awful that you think that way and that you're promoting this hump that we're trying to get over, that we've made a lot of progress in the most recent years, and you still don't get it. Just because you don't fall in this category and you're unable to understand, you need to keep an open mindset. And it really sucks that she has 2.9 million followers. Candace, you should think for yourself. I don't think you're spouting things that are your own ideas. Also, thanks for setting back both not only your gender, but also your race back 50 plus years. Expressing yourself is not what's the harm here. It's you, people like you, telling people not to, suppressing who they are, how they feel. That is what causes issues in a society. Unless those expressions are harmful, which they are not, I think you're really part of the problem. So I think you need to recheck yourself, hun. Go outside and enjoy nature and get off Twitter news. Face is safe. I learned. Now I just need to get a side table or a mic stand. She's literally saying people in dresses should be stay home, nurturing, not go off to war, do the manly stuff. But then also those people who wear dresses should be women. So basically you're saying we should all go back to the 1950s and shut up and stay in our kitchens and make sandwiches for our mans.